The officers led the handcuffed man toward the patrol car while the little girl stood quietly beside Stone, gripping the hem of his leather vest. She had stopped trembling, but her eyes still darted around like she expected danger to return. Stone gently placed a hand on her shoulder and told her she was safe now. The other bikers created a protective circle, keeping curious onlookers away. Even though they were known for their loud engines and tough appearances, moments like this reminded everyone that the Iron Guardians lived by a strict code: protect the innocent, no matter what. When the officers finished taking statements, one of them crouched down to the girl's level and spoke softly. "Your mom is on her way. She's been worried sick." The girl's lips quivered, tears forming again, this time out of relief. Stone offered her a bottle of cold water from his bike's saddlebag and sat with her on the curb. She clutched the bottle with both hands, sipping slowly as she tried to steady her breathing. For the first time in hours, she looked like a child again instead of someone fighting to survive. Stone watched the road, waiting for the mother to arrive, remembering something from his past he rarely spoke about. When he was 12, he had tried to protect his little sister from a violent household, but he couldn't save her. It was the reason he had joined the Iron Guardians and dedicated his life to helping kids in danger. Saving this girl wasn't just the right thing, it was personal. He was determined she would never face the kind of fear he once knew too well. The rumble of a car engine pulled everyone's attention. A white sedan screeched into the parking lot, and a woman jumped out before it even stopped. Her hair was messy, her face streaked with tears, and she was running before her feet even hit the ground properly. "Emily!" she cried. The little girl leapt from the curb, dropping the water bottle as she sprinted into her mother's arms. They held each other tightly, crying openly. The bikers, who moments ago faced down danger, now stood silently, giving the mother and daughter the space they deserved. After several minutes, the mother wiped her tears and approached Stone. Her voice trembled. "I don't know how to thank you." He was trying to take her across state lines. "I was terrified." Stone nodded respectfully. "You don't have to thank us. You did the hard part, raising her right. We just showed up at the right time." One of the bikers handed the mother a card with the Iron Guardians emergency number on it. "If you ever need help again," he said, "you call us. Day or night." The mother tucked it into her pocket like a lifeline. Emily turned to Stone, stepping forward timidly. She hugged him around the waist, surprising everyone. "You listened when no one else did," she whispered. Stone knelt and looked her in the eyes. "Always. And don't forget, you're stronger than you think." Emily smiled for the first time that day. As the mother guided her daughter back to the car, the bikers stood watching, engines silent, hearts full. When the car finally pulled away, Stone put on his helmet and looked at his crew. "All right, Guardians," he said quietly. "Let's ride." And with a thunderous roar, they vanished into the Texas sunset, leaving behind a story that the small town would never forget. Harold stood in the doorway, overwhelmed by the sight before him. The three Apache women carried an air of dignity and ancient strength, their faces calm yet expressive with gratitude. The young boy, now clean and dressed in traditional clothing, stepped forward shyly. His tiny hand reached out and touched Harold's arm, as if to confirm the man who saved him was real. Harold invited them inside, carefully clearing space at his small wooden table. The aroma of coffee filled the kitchen as he searched for the right words, but nothing seemed enough to match the moment's weight. The eldest woman, introducing herself as Lena, spoke with a voice steady like the desert wind. She explained that the boy, named Tahoma, had wandered too far from their community during a family gathering. A sudden dust storm had separated him from the others, leaving him lost, frightened, and alone in the unforgiving terrain. They had searched endlessly, praying he would be found alive. When Harold discovered him near the cactus patch, he had unknowingly answered those prayers. Harold listened silently, humbled by the depth of what he had stumbled into. They shared a simple breakfast together: fresh bread, warm tea, and slices of fruit Harold kept in his kitchen. Though they came from different worlds, their conversation flowed naturally. Lena's younger sister, Ayanna, spoke about their traditions, their celebrations, and how each child in the tribe was considered a blessing to the entire community. Harold, who lived alone after losing his wife years earlier, felt an unexpected warmth return to his home. The quiet house, once filled only with memories, now carried movement, voices, and something like family. Before leaving, Lena presented Harold with the woven blanket. The intricate patterns told stories of survival, unity, and generations of heritage. Harold held it carefully, running his fingers over the detailed stitching. She explained that such a gift was rarely given to outsiders and symbolized acceptance, honor, and a bond that could not be broken. Harold felt tears forming, embarrassed to wipe them away in front of guests, but the women's gentle smiles told him it was all right. Gratitude, after all, was a shared language. Days turned into weeks, and their visits became common. Sometimes they brought traditional food, other times, they simply came to sit on Harold's porch, watching the sunset paint the desert sky. Tahoma grew especially attached to him, often running to Harold with stories of what he learned in school or the tricks he taught his dog. Harold felt his life expand in ways he hadn't realized were possible. The loneliness he once accepted as a permanent companion slowly dissolved, replaced by connection and belonging. One morning, as Harold walked along the same dusty stretch where he had found the boy, he realized how much had changed. The land felt alive again, not because anything physical had shifted, but because his heart had. He understood now that saving Tahoma had not been a simple act of rescue. It had been the beginning of a new chapter. The tribe no longer visited out of obligation, they came because they saw Harold as part of their circle. A man who lived alone in the desert had unexpectedly gained a family, one bound not by blood, but by kindness, respect, and fate.